All right, we're out here. We got supposed to have 10 to 15 mile an hour winds, and we had really cool temps last night. Had them last couple nights. So what I want to do is try the creek that feeds into the top end of the bayou. I know there's some hybrids in here. You catch a lot of redfish in here, and the trout should be moving in as well. So we're going to give this a try and see how we do today. If the bite's not on here, then I'll move further down into the bayou and see if I can find some bait. Oh, got, and just like I thought, little white trout. That's actually a decent size one. They don't get as big as the specks, but they're actually, in my opinion, a lot better to eat. So put him back. Another one. Oh, it's a little speck. A little speck. Now there is a size limit on specks. Get the camera, you can see them. These have to be 15 inches up to 19. Obviously he's way too small. So we're going to get him back in as quickly as possible. Back in on the bank for a second. What I'm using here basically is just an underspin that you would use for, it's a freshwater jig head. I like them because you can cover a lot of water. If there's any fish like trout that really are into shiny, flashy objects, they're really good for locating fish. And a lot of people use them for white bass and hybrid bass in freshwater. Well, I'm gonna go back down the creek. Nothing happening in here. I've had 2 bites, small stuff. I think it's probably the little silver trout or white trout, whatever you want to call them. I did see one of them on the top of the water after my bait, so we'll go down and see if there's anything better getting out into the top of the bayou. There's a nice red. I just saw the top of him right there. Is the smaller fish are absolutely hammering this thing. Every time it gets close, and I don't know where he went. He just went back under. Wish I was over in the boat with my cast net. There are schools of really nice sized mullet everywhere in here right now. Got a couple of hits from small trout. They're biting the back end off this grub, this curly tail grub I'm throwing. So I'll give it a little while longer and then I'm gonna head back in. All right, back out here for day 2. Tide was high at about 3:30 or 4 o'clock this morning, and it's a little bit later than I wanted to get out here, but I had more to do at the barn. The fish were hitting the top of the water here, so we're gonna fish this creek a little bit first and see how it goes. Alright, well, there's a white trout to start the morning. Really aggressive bite. using a gulp minnow here. And we'll get him back. Pretty good little fish. They're in here. He hit that really hard. That feels like a better fish there. We're just a tougher fish. One, two, doesn't look any bigger. It's actually smaller, but man, did he hit it hard. A little white trout. Back he goes. They're in here. We may get into some bigger size trout as we go a little bit deeper into the creek. But if not, we'll go a couple of bends, and if not, we'll turn around and come back out. They may be moving out with the tide, if that's where the bait's going. So we're going to fish this area first, go a couple of bends and see how that looks. If we don't get into any bigger fish, we may move out and see if they're on the docks. Yeah, these little whites are just stacked up in here right now. Line out on him. It seemed to be right on the edge of the channel. I fished the middle, didn't get as many strikes, but it drops off. There's another one. Yeah, he got off. Chewing up my gulp minnow pretty good, though. I'll probably have to change it out in just a minute. That's what I thought. Another little white trout. Hit it right underneath the kayak. All right, well, the white trout are hitting really good out here at the mouth. I'm going to move in just a little bit for a few minutes. The sand gnats over here, the no-see-ums and the saltwater are really starting to pick up. So not going to hang out in here long. Don't really like listening to people's dogs stand there and bark at me non-stop. So we're going to go around a couple more bends and see if there's any bigger fish or if I see any bait schools, and if not, I'm going to move out and start fishing some of these docks. All right, I'm back at the boat ramp. I'm going to call it here. Did not see any redfish around the docks, not much happening out there. We're in the last couple hours of the tide going out, so there's not a whole lot going on. There's probably still some trout in here, and I could have stayed in here the entire time and caught trout. But if you're just looking to fish, get you a light action rod or medium light and come out to these creeks this time of year, and you can catch trout after trout after trout because they stack up in the mouths of these things. They like the moving water. They don't like the parts of the creek that are dead water. Come out here and just bring a kayak, or if you can wade, I don't really recommend wading, especially this bayou, because I see sharks all the time. But I mean, cheap kayak, light action rod, you can come out here and have fun for hours. Until next time, thanks for watching.